Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description. Alright, so this one is going to be kind of quick, just an update on working with the spirits of the Nergak. So I'm actually going through the book and underlining stuff and making little notes and this and that and whatnot. And in one of my previous videos on the Nergak, I did mention about how given the fact that it's literally describing the Ssaratu and it has a picture of it in the in the book, and it says you got to make this new bowl with these symbols on it, the Ara, Aga, and Bandar. It's the Ssaratu. What is the Ssaratu associated with? The Watcher. Okay, but the book itself does not say that you have to summon the Watcher. So how do I reconcile these two things? One, just like in my previous video on it, I argue that you should have to work with your watcher, and it would be most beneficial because, your watcher makes sure that you're safe. It's that psychological safety net kind of thing. If you want to go with the psychological model, it's that sense of safety because you don't feel like you're alone. You feel like you got a security guard, that kind of thing. But when you're working with your watcher, that being is on the same plane as the spirits that you invoke, and also the things like the Alu and the Idimu that come towards your energy and your workings and try to feed off of it. And that's where you get poltergeist activity and sickness and if you want to go with all of the explanations of that stuff. So the Fragments of Nergak says that you have to make the bowl of the Watcher, but you do not have to summon the Watcher. I say you should, definitely. But right now, what the only other purpose that it could serve to have the Ssaratu is one, to fit in with the rest of the system and make it a nod to the Simon Necronomicon and the workings of that. If this book is not Simon related, which I have a very experienced source with all this stuff that says that whoever wrote the Fragments of Nergak isn't Simon, but is claiming to be, and they definitely understand the system. But I don't have any definitive proof on that, so that's just one source of information. And but basically, the Agamasaratu in this context, then, if it's not used to summon the Watcher, then it's the bowl for offerings. Where else do we see this kind of thing? Well, we also see it in the Simon Necronomicon with the Maklu burnings, where some of the Maklu burning rituals and invocations are said over the Watcher Bowl, and you actually burn something in the Bowl of the Watcher slash Agamasaratu slash Watcher Bowl. I think you guys get that I'm saying all three of those interchangeably. But where's the kicker there? In the Simon Necronomicon says you got to work with a Watcher, right? In the Fragments of Nergak, it doesn't. So, do you arguably have to? I guess if you want to go with the idea of when I picked up the Necronomicon spellbook, traditionally you're not supposed to do that until you've walked the spheres up to the sphere of Marduk, right? I broke tradition and I worked with the 50 names of Marduk, and I suggest you do the same. That's why Simon put it as a little, Necronomicon spellbook thing, right? So maybe this introduction of Nergak kind of breaks away from that a little bit as well, where once when we thought something was uber traditional and you could only use it in that context, with the Agamasaratu being with the Watcher, now it's breaking tradition in this way by saying, no, you can use this Watcher Bowl for something different for the Fragments of Nergak. Now, here's my question, though. I wonder, so let me know what you think about this. So let's say that I'm a new practitioner, and I've never worked with Simon Necronomicon and what have you, and I pick up the Fragments of Nergak, and I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta make this thing. I guess it's called the Aga Ssaratu, right? And so I get a bowl, and I paint it with white marker with the Ara, Aga, and Bandar, and blah blah, and I have an Aga Ssaratu. So then I work with the Fragments of Nergak for a while, and then I step into the Simon Necronomicon, and then I want to do the gate walking, or I want to work my way through the system in there. Here's my question about it. Should I make a brand new Aga Ssaratu for the Watcher, or can I use the Ssaratu that I worked with the Fragments of Nergak as my new bowl of the Watcher slash Ssaratu that I'm gonna now be doing with the Simon Necronomicon. Interesting. I wonder what you guys think about that one. Arguably, I think that they could be used one and the same, and you could take your Ssaratu from your Simon Necronomicon workings and do it with the Fragments of Nergak. If you start with Fragments of Nergak and you make one, then you can transfer it over to working with the um the Simon Necronomicon as a whole, whether you're doing just the regular Rituals of Calling, the 50 Names of Marduk, the Gatewalking, what have you. In the Fragments of Nergak, the only things that say that is specific to Nergak workings only is the 2 candles that you use for Nergak workings and the pen that you use to make your sigils for the Nergak spirits. So it doesn't say that this Agamasiratu is only used for workings of this tome or blah, 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 something like that. So I would think that it is, quote unquote, transferable from Nergak to Necro, if that makes any sense. Let me know what you guys think about this one and what's your opinion. Good hunting.